Hello, folks, and welcome to the winning JROTC program. I am Ken Johnson, your host, and today we have two exciting guests, which we'll talk to in a moment. But I wanted to start off the program by talking about, our nation and the military, which I think we have a world-class military, and it's been getting a raw deal. A lot of bad reports coming out about the military, but when you have a military, everything's not going to go right. So we have a really great nation, and the military, without the military, it wouldn't be what it is today. In all its forms, the Marines, Army, Navy, and the Air Force. The freedom we have today, we would not have if it wasn't for the military. I applaud the military and all it has done and all it will do. A lot of people get upset about the military doing different things, but the military does not send itself into war. It does not. It's the people who send it to war. It's the people vote for the Congress. You vote for the Senate, and you vote for the president. So if you start paying attention to who you're voting for and look at their records as to what they've done in the past and what they might do in the future, then we might have different form of candidates that are in the Congress and that are in the Senate, and a different type of president. But people need to really pay attention to what these people run for, their platforms, and all of that. So when you get upset with the military, get upset with yourself. Because remember, the military does not send itself anywhere. It is told by the Congress, the Senate, and the president. The president is the one who sends the military different places. Now, once they're there, and if something goes wrong, well, hey, war is war. I hate what happens in war, but you can't have a perfect war. So the name of this program, and I just wanted to say that because I applaud the military, which really has nothing to do with this program, which is the winning JRTC program. But I wanted to say that in a recognition and appreciation of our military. Now, the winning JRTC program is my design because I felt nobody was talking about the junior RTC program and all it's doing for the students. It's building leadership. It's cadets. No cadet fails in the junior RTC. They have a 100% graduation rate, whereas the Unified School District has a 70% graduation rate. So it seems to me if you want your child to graduate from school, send them into the junior RTC program. Now they teach leadership, they teach camaraderie, they teach team building, leadership, and they have different phases. They teach young folks that they're stepping into manhood or womanhood, and they teach them how to act. Keep your shoes shine, how to act proper. They give them skills that otherwise the students may not get. So let me introduce you to my guest right now. We have a candidate running for supervisor, and her name is Myrna Lynn. Did I say that right?
Myrna Lim.
Myrna Lim. She's running for supervisor.
In District 11.
In District 11. And sitting beside her is Stephen McNeil. And Mr. McNeil is opposed to the junior RTC, which is why I invited him on the program. And we're going to talk to both of them. And since this is I'm a gentleman. We're going to go with Miss Miramar about her feelings about the junior ROTC. And what do you feel about this program? You feel it's worthwhile, or what's your feelings?
Well, definitely. As a matter of fact, my brothers attended the JROTC program in Balboa High School. And to my parents, at that time, it's quite a savior for them to have two teenagers going through this program, because, as you had said a while ago, it teaches them leadership, it teaches them discipline, it teaches them responsibility.
That's what I'm saying.
And most of all, it teaches them accountability and consequence. I think our generation of kids today, because of the MTV, because of
rap
media, right, where they make it sounds like crime is cool, like shooting so many guns and violence are cool, and they're not. If anything, they're the worst type of media and television that the children are being bombarded with. So if you have a JROTC program that encourages them to look outside of themselves, but to be productive, to respect law and order and discipline, you can't go wrong with that.
You can't go wrong.
And they don't have to join the military. It's just like when a kid learns how to play the violin, they don't have to be a violinist.
Right, that's right.
When they
Come on with it.
Or when they study ballet or tap dancing, they don't have to be dancers or musicians. But what you've done is, when they go through the training process, it teaches them that if you work hard at something, the product's good. That's something you should be proud of. It builds a kid's self-esteem.
That's right.
And when a kid has self-esteem, the chances are that they might go to college.
Right, they're going to try something a little bit more harder.
Exactly.
So.
And then they're going to go for a job, and then since they will know how to relate to superiors, to their supervisors, their chances of succeeding in an employment situation, in a job situation, will be higher, because they get trained to follow rules and orders and be responsible and work hard. So in terms of inculcating productivity, in becoming a good participating member of the society, you can't go wrong. And they don't have to be in the military, but what you've given them are gifts of skills that they can use for the rest of their lives, and you can't beat that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Stevens.
So I'm Stephen McNeil with the American Friends Service Committee here in San Francisco, and I live and reside as well within San Francisco. And I also serve on the school district's JROTC Replacement Task Force. One of the mandates that the school board adopted when it asked for the phasing out of JROTC is that there be a replacement program that tries to duplicate the good things about JROTC that exist. And I agree with Maynard Lim and yourself that there are certain aspects of the program that are incredibly good, and they actually reach a particular segment of kids in our school district who need the kind of intensive attention and goals and guidance and discipline that JROTC is now providing. What I disagree with is that it is primarily a Pentagon program that is meant to recruit people eventually into the military. And while it is true they don't do recruiting while they're in the high school, it sets a precondition for both the kids in the program and for those around them in the school to say that this is a particularly good thing to do. And we object to this at high school age, because now with the professional military, as you were saying, there are certain risks and certain aspects of the military that you really should be 18 or older to look at before you actually go into that kind of a service willingly. Part of the problem is that the Pentagon and the Department of Defense chief and so on have said that JROTC is the best recruiting material program that they have, and that's why it exists, basically, is for recruitment. Not within the high school right at the moment, but certainly after kids leave and can't find employment after 2 or 3 or 5 years. The number of people that go in to the military is really quite high that have been in JROTC programs.
Well, the information I got is that it's a really low number that go into the military, from the JROTC program. And those ones who do go into the military, they have some kind of, they go in at a higher level. They don't, if they do go in, they go in at a higher level. They don't go in as foot soldiers or anything like that.
It's true that if they graduate from JROTC and they're straight, they can get in a higher pay grade. They can get into college scholarships, and they can actually be nominated to one of the military academies for more intensive training as professional soldiers and leaders. But you have to be straight. You can't be gay or lesbian. And that's one of the problems in the school district, is that the school district has said they will not contract with outside agencies that discriminate. And essentially, because of the JROTC2, which is a civilian policy imposed by the president.
Can you talk a little louder?
Yes, those kids who are participating in San Francisco schools who are openly gay or transgender, which we do have in San Francisco's JROTC program, they are not allowed to go into those extra benefits from the program because they're open at this point.
So it seemed like that's the main reason why you're against the junior
No, the
ROTC?
main reason is it's primarily an intrusion of the military into high schools, and I think that's not proper. I think ROTC in colleges as a voluntary choice, that's fine. Kids are old enough then, 18 and older, but that essentially we pay in San Francisco $1.7 million for 1,200 students to be in this program. You were talking about how your brothers benefited at Balboa, and it's true. It's an intensive after-school program that's safe for kids to be in, and it keeps them out of trouble. It keeps them in a esprit de corps sense of belonging, which they don't have a lot of times in high school. But why only 1,200 kids for $1.7 million? Why not the 60,000 kids that are in our high schools throughout the city, and not just the 7 out of the 26?
Well, it's a volunteer. It's a volunteer program. The kids have to want to get into it.
Well, that's not actually true. What happens a lot of times, especially over the last decade, is that it counts as phys ed, which eventually may go away. Right now it's PE credit if you're in JROTC. And you have to have certain credit in PE before you get out of high school. And a lot of times kids just get put into the class, or they go into the class because their schedule doesn't really allow them to take the regular PE, or they have something else competing with the regular PE. So it's somewhat voluntarily thing. And now the school superintendent has said there has to be a form signed by each student that they're entering it voluntarily, but that's just starting up this coming year.
You know, I'm very disturbed. As a matter of fact, I'm very disturbed when the Board of Education passed a resolution to eliminate JROTC. As a matter of fact, I went to a few of the rallies to oppose it. I have good friends, Cathay Post, Bokpon, and so forth, opposing this whole thing. The problem in San Francisco today is you have over 3,000 kids who are juveniles. They go through the probation system. There's a lot of kids who get involved in drugs, a lot of kids who get involved in theft, in crime. They start from anywhere from 8 years old up to like 22 years old. Those are serious problems.
That's right.
Why the school board decided to eliminate something that works instead of focusing its energy on things that are broken and that do not work? It's so ideological. That seems to be a warped sense of purpose. It
is. It just seems to me that to replace JROTC with some other type of program is an experiment. And if JROTC is graduating all of its students, and when one student is failing, the other students help him out, and now you want to take that away, that's totally ridiculous.
Exactly.
I mean, now there's no wood shop. They took wood shop out,
exactly.
Right? So now kids don't have any skills at all. No carpentry skills. Don't even know how to hold a hammer. They've taken away metal shop, auto shop.
All of the occupancy.
And they took away all the skill shops. Now the only program that teaches kids leadership,
they want to take away.
Leadership, how to be a good citizen.
Exactly.
Now if there might be some problems with junior ROTC, well, let's fix the problems with the people have with junior ROTC. Fix the problem. Don't bring another program which is going to be an experiment, which you don't know if it's going to work or not. But here you have a program that's been in existence for over 90 years.
Exactly.
You know, which is proven to be successful. Now, I mean,
to be successful as a recruiting tool.
it's not a recruiting. I mean, if you have 1% or 2% or whatever,
General
these people
James Jones says fully 1/3 of our young men and women who join the junior ROTC program wind up wearing the uniform of a Marine.
1/3. Well, 1/3, 1/3 is going to join anyway.
I mean, and not only that. Wait a second. First of all, people. The military is not putting guns on people's heads to say, hey, join the military. The fact of the matter is, what's happening today in the school board, I respect some of them, but I think the ideology, this ideological bend that is very adult-oriented, that is very guilt-ridden oriented, that is very politically motivated, is the one making a decision on the lives of kids. I mean, the fact of the matter is, kids today are having a hard time. I always make a joke, with my nephews and nieces that, for me, I will not survive this generation today. If I am a kid today, I don't think I can handle it. It's so hard. I mean, you look at all these kids. You have teen pregnancies. You have kids, babies having babies.
Right. That's what...
You have kids committing crimes that 10 years ago was only being committed by older people. You have kids who are into drugs, all kinds of drugs, meth, name it. You have kids killing kids. Why you will have two kids who will get in an argument. Next thing you know, in a matter of few seconds, one is dead. We've got some serious problems with this generation.
We got real serious problems. And let me just tell the people, as you can see down below me right there, this is a call-in program. We'd like for those watching to call in and to join this discussion. I'd like to say a shout out to me, Gigi. Gigi, I wasn't able to put that clip together to show. I wanted to show our audience a wonderful lady that is a veteran for over 50 years, and she's 90 years old, and she's still really healthy and vibrant. But Mimi, you have to, Gigi. Please forgive me. We will have to put it on later. So back to the junior ROTC. It just seems to me to be that parents should be outraged that the school board is even thinking about.
Well, the school board has already acted. I mean, the school board has decided that it's phasing out JROTC.
The school board has decided, but there's a lawsuit that's been filed to stop this whole action.
Well,
that's
it may
good.
be. There's lots of things that happen.
There may
be a lawsuit to actually make sure it happens. I mean, the point is that we in San Francisco are paying $1 million a year in taxes towards a program that benefits 6 high schools and 1,200 students.
Well, on that note.
Wait, let me say this. Let me hand this back over to you. But let me say this. Now, if those students weren't in junior ROTC, maybe they'd be in youth guidance center.
Exactly.
Or in jail somewhere. And then how much would you be paying? $5 million? $10 million?
We should have a school district program that gives the kind of aspects of JROTC that aren't military, that give the kind of belonging and discipline to a lot of the students. We should have a school district that has a relationship with veterans in the city that's not necessarily based on current ties to the military, but respect for what the military is in this country and what the service is that people have rendered. Not simply a small cadre of people, but it should be something that's really promoted throughout the whole school. An understanding of what is a civilian-controlled military and what is the sacrifice that people have put into through their lives and service throughout the school district, not just for 1,200 students. There needs to be a way that the school district is doing this, not just with a small group of people, that basically the Department of Defense wants to have eventually feel friendly towards entering service.
It doesn't make sense if you're saying that this kind of money should not only be spent on 1,200. Well, then expand it. I would think that that's what
Expand
you're
the
trying to
program.
say, it right?
Right. The
No,
program.
because it costs the city $1 million
Well, I mean,
for
look,
1,200 students. That's not what our purpose of civilian education is. Not to educate for the military.
Well,
and that's what it does.
It's not. It's
As
not.
a taxpayer, why should I pay anything towards educating people to go into the military?
Well, you're not paying
I am paying as a
the
taxpayer.
statistics do not show the statistics show, as you said, 3% go into the military, and that 3% would go in anyway.
No,
So that's I mean it does. I mean that's
the Pentagon's not going to spend over $300 million a year on JROTC simply to be good to high schools. It does it because it's basically creating a friendly atmosphere within the schools so that people that are in high school will consider going into the military.
well,
it does it because it creates better citizens.
exactly.
It creates leaders in the community. It creates people that
Isn't that
care
the
about
purpose
the community.
Isn't that the purpose of
But
public
doesn't
education?
but why does the school district have a 70% graduation rate and the junior RTC have a 100% graduation rate? They don't teach the same skills that the youngsters get in the junior RTC. They don't teach the kids how to, if one kid is failing, to help your classmate. They don't teach that. They don't tell them to
Why not?
teach them to,
These are the good aspects of JROTC that I think
all the aspects about the junior RTC are great.
No,
You know, and
they're not all
and
good.
see,
It's not. The teachers aren't academically qualified. They're basically certified as the same level as a driver's ed instructor. They're instructors. They're not necessarily college graduates.
Then it sounds to
okay.
me like you should
Academic
spend more
program.
time.
Okay,
more
well,
money
why
to improve it.
if the teachers are
We're
not
going here.
what you're saying? If the teachers are not qualified, well, why do
I
they
didn't
have
say not
100%
qualified. I said they're not
100%
teachers.
graduation rate, and the school district with these so-called
Because-
teachers they have a 70%
We are in
graduation?
agreement.
We're almost out of time.
That's right.
And I'm
We're in
glad you
agreement
guys
that
are.
having